Hi, this is Shirish Kulkarni, founder and CEO of STROTA Consultech, helping small and medium businesses to grow for the last 5 years. In this concept called as HATKE, we are talking to various personalities, individuals, thought process leaders, individuals who have contributed great way to MSME, brought their own frameworks out, maybe worked on the LEAN framework or ZERO Defect framework in close association with the government. And I have a great privilege to have Dr. Sanjivanee Gogawale with us. So welcome, Sanjivanee ji.
Thank you, sir.
Wonderful. So nice to have you. And, we are talking about this being kind of a challenge situation. People are struggling, no revenue, no working. So in your perspective, Sanjivanee ji, how do you see the current situation?
Yeah, honestly, everybody for the first 15 days were pretty happy. Good break, good relax, then home, family, work-life balance, all positive too. Then the next one, there was an anxiety, what next? And now it is definitely a little uncertainty because there are reports published by who like we have to start living with Corona. This lockdown is not going to be a permanent answer. So that risk factor is increasing day by day, which is obvious and logical. Most of the entrepreneurs were really on their toes, and especially when I'm referring to small, micro and medium enterprises. And they said, "Arey, March ka to salary kaise waise de diya." April and May is little panic because our money is stuck. The obvious reason they want to pay genuinely, but the money and the liquidity and everything is a challenge, which I did not talk about. Yeah, all of us know what are the issues and challenges. Let's talk about what are the ways out.
Right.
It is not a holiday declared by choice. So 15 din ke baad bore ho gaye is not a way out.
Right.
All right. That is a normal and natural reaction of anybody and everybody in the field. But let's look at it. I mean, even in our small team of 10 people, when we were interacting with each other, the same scenario is coming up. And suddenly, when we decided positively and consciously to brainstorm, let us start counting on the blessings. And suddenly we realized that previously, I'm basically in the field of consultancy, maybe Zero Effect, ZED, Lean, and all ISO related regime. I have worked a couple of years in Australia. I was heading their LA trainings and taking care of Southeast Asia. But when I came back to India, that was the first adjustment I have to do because the technology what I had accessed was certainly not accessible here. But still, I could overcome it. The mentality and the focus and all industry demands were different. Then I realized, I mean, typically in our quality jargon, we use a term called preventive action. 90% of the failures or quality problems are coming because of the suppliers, and the suppliers are nothing but MSMEs. So if we are talking about Indian economy to be strong, we have to focus on MSME. There is no other go. So as a conscious commitment from global to local and from local to MSME was a drive that I have taken, and it was a real mindset change I have to do. I have to give away with a lot of luxuries that I was very comfortably used to. And now this is a third, I will say, revolution that I and my team has to adjust because, yeah, now again, the technology is playing a major role. So our comfort levels are increased, but the user's comfort level are not very, very acceptable to that. So now this is like, yes, this is another challenge. Like we are not as comfortable as we were abroad, but at the same time, yeah, the technology is being accepted, though people have their own apprehensions using the technology.
Right.
We typically do our cost breakup. That is the manpower cost we add as a consultant, then the direct expenses and the incidental expenses. So when Corona started, we started using the Microsoft team and otherwise used for trainings. Previously, when we used to go, even if all contract review was done, all the audits and trainings were pre-scheduled, people used to get some diversion. And I believe it is a day-to-day life and dynamics. And we have to wait. 80% efficiency was a maximum efficiency we could execute irrespective of our commitment because of the travel time, because of the people availability, because of the last minute adjustment. So for us, the best efficiency was 80 plus. But now, after the Corona, people were really waiting to learn something. and
All right.
the travel time as it is was eliminated. The
Mm,
direct costs were as it is eliminated, except one time we have to buy this softwares. So I think probably this was a blessing for all of us,
mm,
and we were all positively charged that our cost can be reduced considerably. So every cost, including the leaders, training courses cost also, we reduced considerably, and that gave a positive stroke to most of my clients.
mm-hmm,
Previously, we used to charge 25 to 30,000 per lead auditor because most of the charges were the hotel, the binding material, and all.
mm.
We could reduce it up to 10 to 12,
Wow,
and this
almost
was
half.
like
Okay.
wow.
Mm,
And some of them still came out that even 10 is too big for us. We have to
mm,
block our money because the time is so uncertain.
right.
Then we allowed them, even we treat this as an investment and you treat this as a credit or investment and pay us when the
Right.
economy revives. This is a big risk, huh? In
Mm.
typically training, once the training is delivered, you have no control over it.
People
But
might
we
not
could have
stick to their words. Uh-huh.
an intelligent way out. We said that your certificate will be delivered post payment. So those who are
Mm,
not doing it exclusively for learning but for certificate, these people will definitely pay us. And those who
right.
are doing genuinely for learning, fine, we are happy to teach them free. No, not an issue.
Anyway,
So we
knowledge is
mitigated
something
our
that,
risk our own way.
right, right. So I think it is pretty impressive. I actually went through the ZDZ website, the kind of sacrifices you put in, the amount of work that has been put in. I think not many people know about the ZED website.
Yes, so this
I
is the
would
right
like you
time.
to, I would like you to elaborate it more. Like, it has got all the processes, all the verticals. I think you should be the right person to talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, we that is another segment, I would say, or the product line that has suddenly started coming up. We did a small session through Maratha Chambers. It was a 5 days continuous series. It was free for everybody, and chamber took a lead load in promoting these concepts of Z. But with that, a lot of big industries. Z is basically zero effect, zero defect, exclusively meant for manufacturing MSMEs, micro, small, medium enterprises.
Mm-hmm.
As per the old definition, up to 10 crore investment in the plant and machinery. With the revised definition, it is 20 crore investment, plant and machinery, and whatever definitions you use, still reasonably 60% of the industries fall in this MSME category. They contribute to GDP 45%. So it is a definite segment which impact quality in a big way. So if we are talking about India to be a great superpower having reliable quality and technology, we have to focus on our root cause, that is the small and micro medium enterprises. So doing their hand holding is consciously taken up as a focus from the PMO office. This drive is coming directly from PMO office. And when Prime Minister Modi was addressing the nation on 15th of August 2014, he announced this. We took almost 3 years to put it on paper and roll it on the pilot batch.
Mm.
2016, the first pilot project was rolled out, and then thereafter, first phase of execution by implementation authority by QCI is over just on March 31st.
Mm.
There are a lot of learning in this whole process. Whatever were shortcomings and limitation from ISO, we have tried to block it.
Wonderful.
But at the same time, this has become a little different because people are used to that culture of certification. So
Mm-hmm.
we may have to go hands in hands and considered that aspiration and maybe little agile. So even the Z team will undergo a revision. People who are already registered and paid for Z will be given a choice to get their money refunded or to go for the new version. New
Wonderful.
version is, of course, more user friendly without any dilution, still taking care of ISO and giving some credit to all those who are certified for ISO. That is 9,000, 14,000, 45,000.
Mm.
Quality, environment, safety, that is occupational health and safety, and of course, energy, lean, and all that. So
Right.
those segments are becoming more clear and explicit in the new version guideline. unfortunately, because of the COVID, that is not signed off and not yet released, but
Okay.
anytime it will get released.
But I personally saw that for one of the industries, dynamic
Yeah.
controls, and I could maybe in half an hour or 45 minutes could get it self-validated or self-evaluated.
Yes, indeed. That's the best part. It is like standing in front of the mirror.
Mm,
You always feel you are great, or you indeed put in your best efforts. I
mm.
mean, everybody want to do the best what is the given situation. So are the entrepreneurs.
But
But
that might
then,
not be the truth. Yeah, you are right.
what are the areas where they can focus their efforts and get
Mm,
aligned to the world class requirement was a gap. And
mm,
what we did in the whole Z standard, we built in a lot of learning modules. And the whole Z standard itself has a built-in self-prompt. That means, for example, if you talk about production or productivity as an element, then what is your planning method? It starts with planning. And again, each question has 5 answers. You have to select one of the option. For example, I have no method of planning. Quite a few organizations are so dynamic and dependent on external dynamics that they have no choice but to accept whenever the orders come. So fine, that is also okay. That is their level 1. Then the level comes that you maintain some safety stock, so do some planning up to safety level.
mm,
For example, if I'm at hand and mouth situation where I do as and when the things come start working,
mhm.
I'm bound to do some mistakes.
Right.
Maintaining a safety stock is little maturity level. So when you start reading the questions and start looking at the
You
evidences,
start
it's such
thinking.
a
Mhm.
volume prompt that you should know what is next available. It's like a self-learning. So you know
Wonderful.
what is the next level and how do I go for it. It's like a roadmap. So
Right.
I treat Z as a roadmap for excellence. And anybody who is interested in upgrading themselves has a free open map handed over to them.
Right.
Whether you go for certification or not is your choice. But the idea is first learn it, study it. And that is the main reason I have been moving around, meeting most of my clients, their suppliers and their associates, spreading this, that yes, this is a thing that we as an Indian should be serious about it, because we have really spent in enough efforts. Each and
Correct.
every question, each and everything, we have really spent a lot of time in understanding, putting it, deliberating it. I was a member of technical committee TC 176, and I still remember each and every word how much we have argued on. But that was limited to only one standard. Here we are talking about a set of standards. It was a mammoth task,
I
and this
think
is an India image.
you've
So
taken the
we have
best of the
really slogged.
you've taken the best of the best of Malcolm Baldrige and Tata
Yeah.
Excellence and
All
others.
all international criterias were
Right.
always referred. At the same time, our Indian MSME scenario was also referred, because it's no good saying that chand tare and all that. What is
Uh,
practical in Indian scenario and how best it can be translated as an actionable roadmap.
roadmap.
So
And
it was a sort of golden mean between actionable prompts and a world class requirement.
so
In Z,
my
we have 5
Mhm.
levels.
Mm.
The first level is learner. Till 2.2, you don't get anything. That means you register, you try to do self evaluation. If your score is less, go back to the learning module, study yourself. Do it till you
and
qualify to the
and
beginner. Beginner,
all this is free, right? I mean, apart from some
absolutely, yeah. We
thousands
want
of
them to be
rupees.
on their own. I mean, see, it is in English for the obvious reason India is having multilingual states.
Mm.
But you can always use your Google Translator. So
So
that's virtually free.
right. It's
We also,
amazing sets of learning modules. I
yeah.
saw such a huge list of maybe 30, 35, or maybe more than that. It's all freely available. I was amazed to see that wealth of knowledge.
No, there's a lot of learning. I mean, the whole idea was to make this country a little more Bharata, means little more enlightened. Bha means stage.
Uh,
So it should have little more light in it.
okay.
But that all of us need to do. And especially when we see this scenario, I feel this is the right time for all of us to go back and do our homeworks. Because when the time is tough, tougher understanding, intellect, and solutions are required. So all of
Wonderful.
us
Hmm.
uh, are willing to share and contribute. And current initiative, very recently we did it, as I said, after this Maratha Chamber drive.
Mm.
Um, one gentleman called Mahesh, sir, who was heading their R&D for defense, called me up and he said, I'm quite keen and interested in Z. Can
Hmm.
you do sessions for me as a Z? Lucky their suppliers were also certified for Z through our pilot batch.
Mm-hmm.
So I did a small conference Zoom meeting only, where the suppliers joined, they joined, I was there, my colleagues were there, and their heads were there. And it was something like, wow, we never knew this. Then I said, yeah, most of the time we are pretty slow because we have not spent, honestly, we have not scheduled or budgeted anything on publicity and promotions.
I think word will definitely reach. Actually, hats off to all the committees who have spent time. Somebody like you who have sacrificed a lot. People are not aware of it. So I think it's our best to reach out to the maximum of MSMEs. So my question now is for MSME or for small and medium businesses, what is the kind of just people always ask you what's there for me? माझ्यासाठी काय आहे? So quick recap of what is there if I do Z or I do lean.
Yeah, there
Asab,
are two things. One is
mm,
obviously knowing where you are, because invariably all of us are having our own prejudices and biases.
mm,
So first thing is getting it validated or weighted against the known references globally. I may be thinking I'm the best, but if I'm best means what? Level 1 is this, level 2 is this, and level 5 is this. Where do I really stand in? So that introspection and learning to understand what is really good in me is also very essential, although I'm the best, right? Because this
mm,
helps you in making your marketing niche. You're good, that's fine. Everybody feels. That's why I say that somebody who scores 35% is also a pass. Somebody who is a topper in the university is also passed. With the record also is passed. There is no gradations. I mean, when it comes to ISO, it is ISO certified or not certified. Luckily in university, we have that gold medal for being university topper, or we have that 70% distinction. With Z, this provision has been given. We know what are you good about. And all my pilot batch clients have got fantastic business and recognition thereafter. First of all, your name it gets highlighted in Government of India website.
right, good.
Instead of you saying that I'm good, Government of India saying these are the good companies in my country makes a lot of difference.
Superb.
It gives a tremendous global exposure. And I mean, it's like merit list, no? In 10th, we all used to slog to
Aspire
get
for.
our name in that merit list. 10th, the toppers of the class. So this is a merit list of the industries in Government of India. So everybody who is ambitious should strive to be in it. Everybody who feels they are not capable should still log in and see how they can fall in that regime.
Right.
So wherever you are today, you're good, bad, or otherwise, understand where you are, not by your yardsticks. You can have your own inferiority or your own superiority. It gets filtered out because there is an objective yardstick in front of you. So first understand where you are, start putting in efforts, and of course, once you know what is your roadmap, you're bound to go, you are bound to excel. So that's the whole idea. It's like a prompt. And truly, we have really put in efforts. We have really spent a lot of time.
Mm.
And I wish that all of us who are really concerned in contributing to this great country should take it up with stride and start helping each other and
Absolutely.
make this country a little different country. Treat this corona time, the holidays what we have got, to be best utilized for self revival.
Absolutely.
I remember when I used to ask people, they used to say, "Nahi, wo March hai na, tab tak nahi karenge." We are so tied up with the orders, and suddenly somebody called the nature or the divine law says, "Come on, it's time for you to hold on. Look where you are and how you should go about." There was always a joke. They used to say, "I don't have time to even sharpen my axe."
Mm.
Then how are you going to cut the woods? If your tools are not sharpened, you're bound to end up into losses, and you're going to be always busy because you're doing a lot of wasteful efforts. So this corona time is a right time for all of us to go
Mm.
back, validate our tools, improvise on our competence, and ensure that we contribute smartly and not working very hard. There's every
Right.
chance we are putting in some unwanted efforts. Z does talk
Right.
about automation, Z does talk about improvements, Z does talk about many issues which all of us should really hit back and say, oh hell, I just have missed out these things. So Z was a real learning for me, and I truly feel this would also help a lot of MSMEs in the real sense.
Right.
They will
I
have
think.
their own
Mhm. it's really,
resharpening of their tools and their rebuilding their own image. And lucky for all of us that China is getting banned, which clearly means Indian economy is going to boost. And I have one cutting from last Economic Times,
Mhm.
where they say that India is definitely, nobody will stop India becoming the superpower. So
Right.
why not be pioneers? Why not play our roles in assuming that position? So I truly feel all of us who are in consultancy or in small scale or whatever role we are in, at least we are all citizens of India, should proudly take up this challenge and ensure that we do something which all of us with proudly share with others and be a part of this legendary event and be legends for our lifetime. This is a
Wonderful.
lifetime opportunity for all of us.
I think it's put very positively and with an inspiration there, where we have to actually look at ourselves, our own, then the industry, get it validated where we stand, and let it be any kind of a
True.
level, and look at how
Absolutely.
we move from one level to other level to next level to next
Yeah.
level. In fact, HATKE platform, if we look at H as health, A as attitude, T for technology, K for knowledge, and E for engagement, I believe we tend to circle around for being effective also in Z. The health, your health as well as the business health is critical.
Correct.
Attitude, being positive about change, being open for any change to be coming in.
Absolutely. Yes.
Technology wise,
Very
I
well.
think you are absolutely saying about standardization, automation, connecting dots, getting
True.
processes automated, knowledge sharing, creating knowledge repository to learn from what we have done, for what other industries have done. And now we will have a repository of all the processes across industry available. And E for enabling and engaging, as the way that we are engaging, to engage with the ecosystem like the suppliers. You have people who are providing you some material and you are providing some semi-finished or finished goods to others. So I think that makes it circle, right? ZED and this framework of 5 pillars makes sense.
True. So you have really put it perfectly, and that's the reason when you put it to me, I said yes, I should contribute here on the similar lines,
Superb,
and
superb.
it should be spread across, and together we can definitely make a positive impact.
Wonderful. You know what? I keep on meeting you and I get that positive vibe and that energy. You being in this space, you have some travel constraint. How do you manage to get that energy, Sanjeevji? It's really inspirational. It's contagious.
I don't know. It could be the divine blessing. That's all I can say. I do spend a little time in meditation. I do spend a little time in whatever I do right from the heart. I mean, that was my upbringing probably. In my family, it was never allowed to say I'm bored or
Mhm.
I'm lost or I'm tired. My
Uh-huh.
dad used to say there has to be some way out. So maybe my parents were my inspiration and they're still, although they're not physically there,
Mm.
but yeah, my upbringing could
Superb.
be, or the divine blessing, what do you
Do
say?
you remember college days in COEP, something that inspires you, or something that is a sweet memory, or something that gets you kicking?
I'm still a member of my 86 Instu batch, and all of us across the globe are still connected.
Mm-hmm.
And all of us, I mean, let's be very honest, having a camera itself was a big
Issue. Big.
luxury in the whole batch, hardly. And now we have mobiles and we have our children's use I mean, Google Pixel and all that.
Mm.
But those days, when we look back, we used to go for boat club events, and we used to
True.
go for cycling all throughout. We used to have those, Rajgarh and Sihagarh trips and all those odd things. Although we were part of engineering college, but it was always part-time college. Full time, we are always willing to challenge and do whatever we wish to do in our own ways.
I think
So,
it's a training. Your mindset got trained where you
yep,
always are
yep,
getting ready for doing something different, hatke
exactly.
and
That hatke, as you
challenging.
rightly said. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We were never that. I mean, we used to have a fantastic Abhyanta poems, and I mean, when we look back, even now, we have one of our colleague who is a very successful professional engineer in software thing. He
Mhm.
writes still. He writes a blog,
Oh.
and which is something much better than an author, a
Uh, uh,
professional author. So
mhm.
all of us have our own hobbies still maintained, and we get a lot of energy coming together.
I think
We really enjoy togetherness.
in this time, it's a time to open ourselves, finding a new me, as I call it. And
Yes,
you
correct.
might
Yeah,
find
yeah,
some
yeah.
different skills and something that you've not done earlier. I think many of us, I would get you invited for one of the 1990 batch get together. Uh,
Yeah.
it's a wonderful way that people are still remembering old times, and they're spending time together. A lot of business also transacts. A lot of business knowledge gets transacted, and there is a touch of trust, binding and bond
Yes.
that
Yeah,
helps.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now coming to the
Because without any business intentions, we come together. That makes all the
absolutely.
difference.
Absolutely. Coming to the last leg, Sanjivanee ji, any kind of message, because you've done so much for the framework, for the nation, being an engineer, being an instrumentation engineer, do you have any message, for people who kind of put their shoulders down and, they are kind of disappointed or not having a hope in their mind? So any message for them to get inspired and get going?
Well, I wouldn't call it a message, but yeah, all of us have some little downtime, but then it is only to be used as a bouncing board. If you're feeling a little down, always remember there's a time to jump ahead. Like we used to have throwing events, we take a stand behind.
Mm-hmm.
While jumping, also, we go 2 steps or 15 steps, depending on your stamina and capacity behind, and then you put all your energy to jump forward. It is like that. If currently you're feeling down, nothing wrong. That only means the situation is impacting you in a great way because your problems are apparently sounding to you little unmanageable. Fine, doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has that downward spike, but let it be spike. Let it be not overtaking you. Always have some good friends who can be with you and always tell you, hey, it happens with everybody, but
Wow.
there is a way out. We are there to do your hand holding. True friends, true associates are anytime better than any other motivational talk or speech. So all of us who really want to come together through engineering college alumni association or HATKE network or any other business forum should come together, because today maybe I'm in a great mood, but there's every chance tomorrow I may have my own
you might feel
spike
down.
negative.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So all of us have these changing dynamics of our own psyche.
Mm-hmm.
So all of us together won't have a negative side.
True.
And when we have so many hands to be together, why give up? Together we can definitely excel.
I think
that's all I want to say.
I think the
So
message
remain
is,
connected. Although with social distancing, remain safe and enjoy the life. Life is meant. This is a new challenge. Probably only our generation has witnessed it. No other generation has seen such a pandemic.
Right.
So let's learn from this and take it up in our stride to prove that we can also handle such situations.
I think the message I got is sharpen your axe, remain focused, always take challenges, and there is always somebody to with you, and everybody with you who is a
Indeed,
true friend
yes.
or a true associate. I think.
Yes, sir.
So
Thanks.
nice to talk to you. I think it was pretty inspirational, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to be calling you, and this framework that you've got in place is going to make wonders. And as I see the things are moving, it has got a huge potential. I personally, whatever limited knowledge that I have about it's an amazing piece that we have created, and I'm sure everybody will get that recognition, the recognition that is due for all the efforts that you've taken. Thank you so much.
I must thank you for such initiative. It's a pleasure being with you always. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
बिजनेस कोई भी हो, सक्सेस की नींव हम रखते हैं।
बुलंदियों को छूने की आपके अरमानों की उम्मीद जगाती जोत है, हर सपनों का हम स्रोत है।
सही स्ट्रेटेजी, परफेक्ट डिसीजन मेकिंग और बिजनेस ग्रोथ के लिए हम आपके साथ कंधे से कंधा मिलाकर आपकी स्वप्न पूर्ति करते हैं। स्त्रोत Consultech, synergizing transformation.